Namaste, friends. This is Elle with Sacred Union Tarot, and I am going to do the summer solstice reading as promised. I'm going to use a different combination of decks than I used for the weekly reading, or the readings that I do for the week. So thank you. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning or a subscriber, thank you so much for your positive energy, your interactions on the channel, because it helps these messages get to those who need to hear them. We have there are a lot of people waking up, finding out they're a twin, which is quite the experience. So today is summer solstice, June 21st in the Northern Hemisphere. And I will be using, for the Oracle decks, the Divine Feminine and the Soul's Journey. And for the tarot decks, I'm going to use the Shadowscapes, which is the deck that I'm using for these week's readings. But remember, there is no reversals in this deck. It's not designed to read reversals. And then, the Art Nouveau Tarot, the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. So those are the decks that I'm using. The only message that came through in the pre-shuffle was this Seven of Pentacles card, and it looks as though from this energy, this is almost Empress energy, and she is creating, helping these things grow. So this might be an energy of you and your Divine Feminine energy, nurturing and encouraging others to grow, nurturing people, things, situations in your life for the highest and greatest good, and just being in love with that process. So that's the energy that I read from that. Seven of Pentacles is generally how you're investing your energy. So just consider that as this summer solstice is transitioning us. Tomorrow Venus moves into Gemini, and that's going to be another shift of energy, and then the Sun moves into Cancer. So and Cancer is my my Venus placement, so pretty interesting. Anyway, I'm going to start. I always shuffle on camera, but I do a shuffle for you. And let's see if that needs to come out. Is there a message, please, for my viewers for their highest and greatest good? What do they need to know for this summer solstice transition, the celebrating of the summer solstice? There we go. Sarada, Devi, or Devi, the Divine Mother. Unconditional love exists within me. The presence is love. The presence of love is the absence of judgment. So that's kind of that Seven of Pentacles energy in that card. It's just absolute love in your expression of self. So I'm going to put that here as the Divine Feminine card. Okay. Now I'm going to pull from, nope, they said to pull some tarot on that. So from that energy of unconditional love, which is what we're all trying to work toward as we shift our paradigm from ego-based to unconditional love. Oh my. Here we have the Hierophant in the reverse. And the deck is right side up. Reversals are kind of interesting because, wow, there's the Eight of Wands. Oh, they said the side. And the Ten of Pentacles. All right, so the Hierophant to me is, can be read two ways. It's a spiritual evolution, a spiritual leveling up. But also for me, it is divine masculine spiritual energy. Their higher self, kind of their spiritual side, whereas the Emperor is their more practical and 3D side. This is like 5D, but it's in the reverse. So it feels as though the feminine has an expectation that there's going to be this movement toward the 3D energy. This Ten of Pentacles, this happily ever after kind of commitment. This could be commitment, marriage. And that it feels as though that's the direction that she wants to move. But what I'm hearing is that really what unconditional love is? And part of the twin flame journey, if you're watching from the twin flame perspective, is that you feel this knowing inside that you and your twin belong together in the 3D. And really, that's just an affirmation that you guys are the same soul, but you're in different human incarnations having different experiences here. And it always helps me to look at the perspective of that my twin is in the physical form is my masculine energy having a different experience than my feminine energy, because I identify as a divine feminine. And that's another part of me having a different experience. But it feels like that there's this judgment energy from the divine feminine, because this may not have manifested in the 3D in the way that you were hoping. But part of the journey is to switch your paradigm from attachment to and judgment to non-attachment and unconditional love. And unconditional love is non-attachment. So if that's relevant, let's pull 3 more cards. And that might be what needs to the actions or the shift for the divine feminine is to release that judgment and attachment. Because if you're judging your twin based upon the fact that they're not coming in, they're not, manifesting the 3D relationship, then you build up this resentment, and that's not what love is. There's that King of Pentacles, the Empress. Yeah. And the Three of Swords, and that makes perfect sense. What this feels like to me is that divine feminine is in her Empress energy, but your Empress energy is not focused on this 3D tangible. The divine masculine is feeling very working on their success, their financial success. They're manifesting their 3D life. And the feminine, and the thing I noticed both about these is that kind of the scepter that they're each holding is the same scepter. And it feels as though they are aligned in their, it feels as though they're aligned in their power, but they're not aligned in their outcomes. And that's what's creating this Three of Swords energy. So I think the greater lesson here is, and I know this is hard to hear, and I can feel the resistance already. Your 3D union is not the priority. Your spiritual growth and unconditional love for the other version of you, the dual version of you, the opposite of your polarity, is loving the fact that they're having their own experience here that benefits you. Okay, did we not see the Hangman coming? Seeing this from a different perspective, it will release the judgment and thereby the resentment, but also it will fill your heart with compassion and love when you realize that that 3D person, that masculine, is having that part of your soul is having a different experience from a different perspective, to learn differently, to learn some valuable soul growth lessons, and that should be loved and really honored. Bottom of the deck, there's that King of Wands. We've got two kings here. King of Wands to me is somebody who takes deliberate action, who is very cautious about what actions they take. But there's no Emperor here. So it feels as though the Divine Masculine energy is not taking the expected action toward the Divine Feminine, and then therefore there's this buildup of resentment. But remember, unconditional love exists within me, and the presence of love is the absence of judgment. Okay, so we're going to stop that section of the reading here, and I'm going to pull from the Soul's Journey Oracle. And let's see what this brings out. Blame. Yeah, that kind of fits right into the reading. Very similar colors. I accept responsibility for my well-being. So during the solstice, it is a good time to shift, to help you gain a larger perspective of blame. The energy of blame comes from judgment and expectation. All right, let's see what comes through for this. So this doesn't, I don't mean this to be like a lecture, but readings are for your highest and greatest good, according to what you need to know to move forward and to be able to accept the twin flame journey as the growth opportunity. And in my meditation today, what came through was the opportunities of today are either positive or negative, and you have to make the choice of the perspective, perspective that you choose. You have power over the perspective that you choose. There's judgment. Can't say that this reading isn't aligned. Okay, Four of Cups. So the perspective that you choose, that is going to define how you see your opportunities in today. So I'm going to move these back. So you have this new opportunity to embrace this solstice energy, to release the judgment. and to only accept what is true and right for you according to your soul's journey, not necessarily your expectations in the 3D. I think the energy of Divine Feminine along this journey has been, but this is what I want. But this is what I want. But this is what I want. And in doing so from that perspective, you then deny yourself many other opportunities for soul growth. Ten of Swords. Yeah. The ending of that old perspective, that old energy, is going to allow you to see this journey in a different perspective. And it will help you to take more diligent action based upon unconditional love. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. We have Judgment card and Wheel of Fortune. That's incredibly powerful energy. That is, the divine saying, this is the changing of the gears of your paradigm. This is summer solstice energy is going to be powerful enough to allow you to shift if you allow it. It will allow you to shift your perspective if you are willing. Yep, Two of Wands. So that you see things from a different perspective. So that you will manifest things differently. So that you will create a new energy in your energetic field, which is based upon unconditional love and not based upon judgment or resentment. Because that's what builds up. Or blame. Page of Cups. Page of Cups is just a soft message of initiation, emotional initiation. Okay. Anything else that we need to know in this reading? Let's pull one more Divine Feminine to wind up the reading. So in essence, this reading is about shifting the perspective of what it is you want from the 3D perspective of kind of being driven toward this physical union and commitment with your twin, to the unconditional love of accepting the fact that you are the feminine energy, if you're Divine Feminine, and your counterpart is the masculine polarity, and that the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine are each having different incarnate experiences here to kind of accelerate their growth, their ascension. And so what the Divine Masculine is doing and what they are not doing is part of their soul growth. They're learning lessons. Divine Feminine is learning her lessons. And it really accelerates the soul, the combined soul, the soul in union's growth. So this is kind of like an expedited soul school course when you incarnate as twin flames, if that makes any sense. Okay. Marguerite Portet, the mystic of divine love. Love is divine, and I am nothing except love. That is such the great way to end this reading, because this is all about being a being of divine love. And divine love is not judgmental. It doesn't blame. It doesn't resent, because it doesn't get what it wants in the 3D. So that's the energy of this solstice, to help you transition from that compelling urge to be in a traditional 3D relationship marriage commitment with your twin to detaching with love and allowing them to have their incarnate experience as part of your incarnate experience, as two poles of the same soul. They're here to learn, you're here to learn. Their learning is going to be different than yours. Their experience is going to be different than yours. And you have to allow them the freedom to do that, because when you come back together in the 5D, each of you will be able to share the other's experience. So if that makes sense to you, I wish you a wonderful day. Namaste.